Hey, in this video, we're going to talk about the formulas COUNT and COUNTA. So these are two common formulas that you'll be using within your spreadsheets. They're super easy to use, and we're going to talk about what they do and what's the difference between the two of them. All right, so as you can see, we're going to do the formula COUNT and then COUNTA, or COUNTA, whatever you want to pronounce it. So COUNT counts the number of cells that have numbers in them, whereas COUNTA counts the numbers of cells that have text in them. So we can do a few examples over here. So I've got a little expense table here with our expenses listed and our budget and our actual numbers. So let's say we wanted to count up the number of cells that actually have numbers in them. So I want to know how many cells within this range right here has numbers within it. So to start off with my formula, I'm just going to double click into the cell where I want to place my formula. And then I'm going to do equals count. And then you can either select it or you can put your left bracket. And then you want to select the range of cells. And then you're going to put your right bracket and hit enter. So what it's going to do is it's going to count out every cell that actually has a number within it. So remember, it's not counting up those numbers together, that sum formula. Counts is just counting up the number of cells that actually have numbers within them. So as you can see, this one actually has 7 cells that have numbers within them, and then it doesn't count these extra 4 down here because there's no numbers. Now, what if we actually have zeros within our cells? Well, let's see. So right under here, I'm just going to double click in. I'm going to put equals count. I'm going to put my left bracket, and then I'm going to select the range of cells, and then right bracket and hit enter. And as you can see, it actually counts the zeros as well. So if you are counting up any numbers, it's going to count up every single number, including 0. So just be aware of that. So now let's try COUNTA, because if I tried count for this option under expenses, which only has text, is it going to count? Let's see. Equals count. And then I'm going to select my range. And then I'm going to put my right bracket and hit enter. So as you can see, it's saying 0 because none of these cells are numeric. They don't have numbers in them. So that's not what I want. I want to count up the amount of cells that actually have something within them. So that's why we're going to use COUNTA. So let me just get rid of that formula. Again, I'm just going to double click in. I'm going to do equals COUNTA, and then my left bracket. And then I'm going to select my range of cells again. I'm going to right bracket, and then I'm going to hit return. So as you can see, it actually counts up the number, the number of cells that actually have text within them. So this is perfect, especially if you're doing something like a habit tracker, or if you have any type of list like this, where maybe you have some different categories, or you have different habits, and you leave some extra open, maybe in case your customers want to add in their own habits or their own expense categories or their own book genres, whatever text that you want to add in there. You could leave it blank, and then when you're doing formulas, because sometimes we want to calculate, okay, how many expense categories do we have? How many genres do we have for movies or for books? Or maybe how many habits do we actually have? Then you can use the COUNTA formula to actually count how many cells actually have text within it. So you're not counting any cells that maybe are blank and don't have a habit or a genre in them. It's only counting with text inside. So that's why I like using COUNTA. I am going to show you a cool little trick afterwards, but before I forget, you can also calculate for different cell ranges. So if you want to do multiple cell ranges, let's say I want to actually count up the amount of cells between these two columns. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click into my cell, do equals count, because again, they're all numeric. So I want to select this range. I could actually select both ranges if I want, but let's say there's 2 ranges within, and they're not together, they're not side by side. Maybe one's over here, one's down here, and you want to select both. All you have to do is select the first range and then put a comma, and then select the second range, and then put your right bracket, and it will automatically count those together to count how many cells within those 2 ranges, or 3 or 4 or 5 ranges, that actually have numbers within them. So that's just a cool little thing as well. All right, so let me show you a really cool thing. So let's say we wanted to do a to-do list. And let's say I wanted to number my list and I wanted to automatically number it. So that way, anytime someone adds in a new task or a new to-do inside of their list, it will automatically number them. So normally we would number like 1, 2, 3, and then we can just select those and then make list or number our list like that. Let me just put in to-do list right here so we know what we're doing. There we go. But let's say we want to do it where we have our task 1, task 2, task 3, that it automatically counts or will add a number when we added a new task. And you can do that using the COUNTA formula. So, but we're also going to be using a first formula of sequence. So I'm going to do equals. So right where we want to put our first number within our list, we're going to double click into that cell, do these, add an equal sign. Then we're going to put in sequence. And then I'm going to put a bracket, a left bracket, and then I'm going to do a COUNTA formula. So basically the sequence formula is just, we're able to make a sequence of numbers if we want to. And I'm just using the COUNTA formula in addition to the sequence formula so that it counts or it'll add in numbers based on how much text you've actually added. So again, we have our equals, sequence, left bracket, COUNTA. Then I'm going to put my left bracket, and this is where we're going to select the range of cells that we want to count. So this, again, remember, is going to be cells that have text within it, not numbers, text. So I'm going to select my first one, and let's say my to-do list is all the way to here. So I'm going to select that range. I'm going to put a right bracket and then a right bracket to close it off and hit equals. So as you can see, it automatically numbers it. So if I add in task 4 here, it will automatically add in a number. Task 5, and there you go. So it will automatically number your list as long as they keep on adding in their different tasks. It automatically numbers itself. So again, that one was using our sequence formula and then nesting in COUNTA to automatically count the number of cells that have text within it. So that's a super awesome little trick for you. But yeah, that's COUNT and COUNTA. If you have any questions at all about those two different formulas, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please follow and subscribe to the channel and also give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Bye.